Hello, I welcome to UPSC Prelims Chaturya series of SHANTHA LAKSHMI IAS Academy, where we will discuss the daily prelims MCQs from the Hindu, Indian Express and PIB. Let's begin. The first question. Consider the following statements with respect to the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019. It amends the Citizenship Act of 1955. This act specifically targets illegal immigrants from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Pakistan and Sri Lanka. Citizenship in India is listed in the concurrent list under the Constitution. How many of the statements given above are correct? Only one, only two, all three, none of the above. This was in news recently. The Union government granted citizenship certificates to more than 300 people who applied under the Citizenship Act 2019. About this act, citizenship is the legal status and relationship between an individual and a state that entails the specific rights and duties. Citizenship in India is listed in the Union list under the Constitution and thus is under the exclusive jurisdiction of Parliament. The Constitution of India on 26th January 1950 established categories of people eligible for Indian citizenship. It also granted Parliament the authority to regulate additional aspects of citizenship such as a granting and renunciation. Under this authority, Parliament enacted the Citizenship Act 1955. Eligibility, it amended the Citizenship Act of 1955 to make illegal migrants who are Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jains, Parsis and Christians from Afghanistan, Bangladesh and Pakistan eligible for Indian citizenship. Relaxation, the amendment relaxed the residence requirement from 11 years to 6 years for these communities to acquire Indian citizenship by naturalization. It exempts members of these communities from prosecution under the Foreigners Act of 1946 and the Passport Act of 1920. Applicants are exempted from being considered illegal immigrants. Exception, the amendment for illegal migrants will not apply to certain tribal areas in Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Tripura, as well as states regulated by the Inner Line Permit under the Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulations 1873. So the answer is only one. Because this act specifically targets illegal immigrants from Afghanistan, Bangladesh and Pakistan, not Sri Lanka. Citizenship in India is listed in the Union list, not concurrent list. Moving to the next question. With reference to the wholesale price index, consider the following statements. It covers both services as well as goods. It is calculated and published by the Office of Economic Advisor, Department of Industry Policy and Promotion in the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Which of the statement given above are correct? One only, two only, both one and two, neither one nor two. Inflation in India, wholesale prices rose to a 13-month high of 1.26% in April, owing to an uptick in food inflation and a 1.4% year-on-year rise in fuel and power prices after several months of deflation. About this index, WPI measures the changes in the prices of goods sold and traded in bulky by wholesale businesses to other businesses. It is calculated and published by the Office of Economic Advisor, Department of Industry Policy and Promotion in the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. WPI data is published monthly with the index value representing an estimate of the price level for the month as a whole rather than a specific date. Analysts use the numbers to track the supply and demand dynamics in industry, manufacturing and construction. An upward surge in the WPI indicates inflationary pressure in the economy and vice versa. The quantum of rise in the WPI month after month is used to measure the level of wholesale inflation in the economy. So the answer is 2 only because it covers only goods, not services. Moving to the next question. Consider the following statements about exercise Tarkash. It is the 7th edition of the Indo-France Joint Counter-Terrorism Exercise. The primary objective of the bilateral exercise is to build functional relation and enhance interoperability between the two special forces. This exercise encompassed intense training and mock drills in urban counter-terrorism scenarios. How many of these statements given above are correct? Only one, only two, all three, none of the above. The India-US joint exercise in conducting coordinated operations in urban counter-terrorism contingencies will concluded in Kolkata. About this exercise, it is the 7th edition of the Indo-US Joint Counter-Terrorism Exercise. It is held between the elite National Security Guard and the US Special Operation Forces commenced on April 22, 2024. The previous edition of the exercise was conducted in Chennai. This exercise encompasses intensive training and mock drills in urban counter-terrorism scenarios. The primary objective of the bilateral exercise is to build functional relation and enhance interoperability between the two special forces in conducting coordinated counter-terror operations in urban counter-terrorism contingencies. The exercise is also aimed at improving bilateral cooperation between the India and US in matters relating to combating terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. The joint exercise also involved sharing of best practices, tactics, techniques, and procedures over a wide spectrum of counter-terror operations in urban environments, including close quarter battle, building intervention drills, and hostage rescue operations, etc. So the answer is only 2 because it is the 7th edition of the Indo-US, not France. Moving to the next question. Choose correct one with respect to the Sariska Tiger Reserve. It is located in the Alwar district of Rajasthan. It is well nestled in the Aravalli Hills. Which of the statement given above is are correct? One only, two only, both one and two, neither one or two. Even 46 years after it was notified as a tiger reserve, Sariska, among the first 12 in the country, awaits rightful ownership of its land in the state's revenue records. About Sariska Tiger Reserve, it is located in the Alwar district of Rajasthan. It is well nested in the Aravalli Hills, covering an area of 800 square kilometer. It was once a hunting ground of the Maharaja of Alwar before being proclaimed a natural reserve in 1955 and a national park in 1979. It is the first reserve in the world to successfully relocate tigers. Sariska is also famous for old temples, palaces, and lakes such as Pandupal, Bhangar Fort, Ajgar, Pratapgarh, Silisar Lake, and Jai Samand Lake. Flora, nearly 90% of the area in the sanctuary is covered with oak trees. Other species found include salar, kadaya, gol, bear, banyan, gugal, bamboo, kair, adusta, etc. Fauna, a variety of other wild animals like leopard, sambar, cheetal, nilgai, four-horned antelope, and wild boar, Rhesus macaque, langur, hyena, and jungle cats are found in the reserve apart from the tiger. So the answer is both 1 and 2 are correct. Moving to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding the Strait of Gibraltar. It is a narrow waterway separating Europe from Africa and connecting Mediterranean Sea to the Atlantic Ocean. Its narrowest points between Morocco's Point series and Spain's Point Maraque. Geological studies have revealed that the strait was formed due to northward movement of the African plate towards the European plate. How many of these statements given above not correct? Only one, only two, all three, none of the above. Recently, an unknown number of orcas have sunk a sailing hatch after ramming it in Moroccan waters in the Strait of Gibraltar. About this strait, it is a narrow waterway separating Europe from Africa and connecting the Mediterranean Sea to the Atlantic Ocean. Its narrowest point between Morocco's Point series and the Spain Point Maraque. Its depth ranges from 300 to 900 meter and it forms a significant gap between the high plateau of Spain and the Atlas Mountains of Northern Africa. The geological studies have revealed that this strait was formed due to the northward movement of the African plates towards the European plate. The Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea have differently salinity levels, and therefore the highly saline water from the Mediterranean Sea flow outward and underneath the currents from the Atlantic Ocean, whereas the less saline Atlantic waters flow inward and on top of the Mediterranean Sea current. It acts as a choke point for the ships that move into or out of the Mediterranean Sea. However, it also functions as a vital shipping route for the countries of North America, Southern Europe, and the Western Asia. An important port located on the Strait of Gibraltar is the Moroccan port of Tangermed near Tangier. So the answer is none of the above because all the statements are correct. Thank you. This is the today's session.